if you really want to learn, you have to keep exploring the opportunities to learn. Whereas in startups or companies like Make My Trip, mid-level companies, they give you opportunities to learn every single day.
Okay.
So
Hello everyone. Welcome back to another series of podcast. I am Chandan Palwar from Growjunction. I welcome you all to gonna be insightful software engineering focused podcast that is again powered by Growjunction. Today we have a professional working as a software engineer too at Microsoft with us, Ms. Shreya Bareja. She's working in the software sector since 4 years and continuously striving towards improving her knowledge graph. Learning combined with efficient implementation of her aptitude remains her motto throughout. She holds excellent expertise in web development, JavaScript, and React. Fall under among her key skills. Apart from this, she is also into exploring microservices right now, moving towards a full stack development ability. So now I'm sure that you must be interested, to get her on board and want to hear from her directly instead of me. So now let's unite together and have Shreya on board with all of us. Hi, Shreya.
hi.
How are you? So where do you belong
Okay.
to?
Yeah, hi. I belong to Gurgaon. I have been belonging to here ever since I was born. I completed my schooling from different schools here. I went to college in Delhi. I am from NSIT, graduated in 2016.
Okay.
Now here comes the interesting part. I do not belong to computer science branch from NSIT or even IT for that matter. So I belong to
My God.
instrumentation and control branch. Yeah. So that is one of the branches that engineers dread taking.
So
And
that is strange.
seven,
I think,
yeah,
how did you manage, being a non-IT background, how did you manage to become a software engineer? Like, this is crazy.
yes, it is.
Okay.
So when I was in 11th and 12th, everyone is preparing for IITs when we are in school. So we do not know any other college. The only college we are preparing for is IIT. I was also doing that. But and even choosing engineering was not something I was passionate about. The reason I chose engineering was I loved maths.
Okay.
That's it. That was the only reason. Now when I look back, it looks funny, but I think certain things are destined to be. So I chose engineering because I loved maths. I didn't want to leave it at any cost. After I chose my branch, I wasn't even aware of the courses it would hold. It was just like NSIT is a good college, I should join. I got the first branch I was supposed to get.
Okay.
Now, 2 years into my branch, I realized things were not working for me. So I tried to explore. I explored many different fields. In terms of so ICE, instrumentation and control, is a combination of electronics and computer science. We have one course from each of the subjects.
Okay.
I decided that I wanted to be a software engineer in the fifth semester of my college, and
Oh
since
my
then
God.
I have been working towards it. Yeah.
Okay.
So these days, I think companies are very enthusiastic about hiring folks who are passionate about computer science or coding. But 7 years back, as far as I remember, only 5 or 6 companies allowed us to interview my branch. So we were not whitelisted to sit for interviews in any good company.
Just because of your
Only
branch. I see.
yes. Because they believed we didn't have it as part of our curriculum. So companies believed we might not be able to be professional in terms of the knowledge that we hold.
Right.
But I did data structures and algorithms on my own, studied OS concepts on my own. So I was a self-teacher since then.
Okay.
Even in classes that seemed boring, my professors should not listen to this, but I was sitting at the last bench solving questions.
Okay.
Because I really wanted to be a software engineer then. Since then, there has been no looking back. I started my career with a small startup, which seems non-existential. I think people of younger generations might not even know that name. I started from shopclose.com, worked there for 2 years. It was a good experience. It was nice. I think it was a good start for my career because being from a non-IT background, I needed a place which didn't pressurize me to perform.
Right.
And I got exactly that.
Right.
So they allowed me to learn at my own place, choose what I wanted to do, and it was really nice.
Okay.
So
I think
post
that is
that
interesting. Right.
yes,
No,
indeed.
I think this is quite inspirational to the students who are currently watching this video, that being a non-IT student, she is currently at Microsoft company. So I think this is quite inspirational for most of us. So
No, it
like,
should be. Yes.
okay, okay. I think
Yeah.
then I'm correctly, framing all the like all the hypes that I'm going to tell you, for you. Yeah.
So the point is, when I started with shop clothes, I always thought I'm not even capable of working in such a company. But
Okay.
I took one step at a time. From shop clothes, I went to a bigger company, Make My Trip, worked there for 2 years. It was a different learning potential, exploring a different learning potential for me, and it was also really nice.
Okay.
So it was like from a group of 10 people, I was working with 20 competitive people.
Oh,
So I just scaled that way.
okay.
It was nice. I learned things there. Even in Make My Trip, I thought I was not eligible for such companies. Microsoft or Amazon, any company. That's okay. I kept patience. And when I was interviewing here with Microsoft, I was very determined. So
Okay.
I solved all types of questions I could, and I traced my journey back to shop clothes projects which I had done.
Right.
And I realized that it's not just about landing a job here. In fact, when I was interviewing with Microsoft, I was so close to an offer with Google. I had an offer with Oracle as well. So
Okay.
a person who always thought that I'm not eligible to work in such companies had such offers all around.
Right. 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 I think this is encouraging. So, like, Shreya, you had an experience at like 4 different companies, starting from Shop Clues, then Make My Trip, MMT, that is, and then Airtel, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had a
And
hop there.
okay,
Yeah, but things didn't work out for me personally, so
okay,
I had to leave there very soon.
okay,
But
perfect,
Airtel was also a good
perfect. So it can be
experience. Yeah.
considered. Yeah. So the,
Yes.
post Airtel, then you are at Microsoft. Okay, so you
Yeah.
have served into 4 different companies under same role, that is software engineering. So what could be your possible like experience and like among all of these 4 different industries as in whole?
Okay, there are pros and cons of all the 4 companies that I have been in. I
Sure.
will say working in Microsoft is definitely glamorous. So
Okay.
in terms of so we say that Indian parents have always that factor that they get pride when their child works in a good company, and they dread telling someone if your child, that is okay. So that is completely okay. Microsoft has that benefits. I tell someone I'm working at Microsoft, and at once they feel like, oh, that's great.
Yeah,
But
you have a PR.
internally, yes, I have had a very strict growth graph in the best in Make My Trip.
Okay.
So Microsoft has been good. I'm working hard here. But here, since it is a very big company, if you really want to learn, you have to keep exploring the opportunities to learn. Whereas in startups or companies like Make My Trip, mid-level companies, they give you opportunities to learn every single day.
Okay.
So it might sound glamorous. Yes, they pay me well, they treat me well, but I really miss brainstorming those problems every day, or maybe getting issues which were never faced before. Here, since everything is already built, we get less chance to explore from scratch.
Okay, so I think you missing the startup. So would it mean that you would be eager to like join the startup altogether after Microsoft?
Yes, someday, yes, for sure.
Okay.
So I am at a stage, I have completed 6 years of experience. I am at a stage in my career where if I join a startup right now, I will be asked to lead the folks. So I personally feel that I still have a long way to go along those lines before I can perform that job well. But if I feel confident enough that I can lead the folks, then happily I would go to a startup as well. There are very good growing startups in India these days.
I think I'm sure that most of the viewers would be shocked by now, even including me, that you said that you are having 6 years of experience into this line. So it seems that
Yeah.
like by your personality and your your look appeal, that you still are a fresher.
that is how you maintain. So that
Absolutely.
is, I will say that uh, this is the only thing that I intend to do for the rest of my life. If I continue to keep working, coding is the only thing that keeps me energized. I cannot think of doing anything because I think other jobs are too tough for me. This is the
Okay.
easiest job that I can perform.
Okay.
And I really have, so I have had siblings who opted out of engineering because they felt that I wasn't growing enough, but that
Okay.
was because they saw me at a stage where I was also aimless. I
Okay.
think I have been aimless for a very long period of my life, and that is okay, that is very much okay in my opinion. But
Now
going
I
back
think
to a
the
start,
whole
yeah.
perspective must be changed of your siblings by now.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so like let's move ahead to this podcast, and let's understand what could be the possible skill sets that must be required by the possible candidates who are aspiring to become one of the software engineers very very soon.
Okay.
Right.
So I will say that to for being a software engineer, the only thing that you need, I will not say that the zeal to learn or everything that you need for any job, not just a software engineer, but a strong mental aptitude for solving problems. It might sound cliched, but that is actually the essence of our job.
Okay.
Every day we face a new problem. How from how many different directions can you analyze that problem? That matters a lot. Even
Right.
if you are solving a coding question, or even if you're designing something. For example, if you want to design a functionality, the only approach that can help you is looking at the problem from different angles,
Okay.
having a broad approach to the problems.
Okay.
And if you are starting in this journey, I think you should only focus on data structures and algorithms,
Okay.
because I can tell you, even now when I interview, I take back my old book from college, read all the problems that I solved. Lead
Okay.
code is good, everything is good, new things have come up, but the traditional data structures and algorithms are still not replaced. We have
Okay.
just got new sources to read. That's it.
So like it is quite having a goosebumps kind of a thing that listening such terms from a non IT background person like at her educational level and now in the experience, totally it's huge. I think I should mention it a huge disaster, to be very honest. Having a non IT background, you were not having an proper education into the like programming languages that back then while you were educating in under institutes, and now
Yeah.
it seems that you are having a whole lot of experience in while you entered into the corporate world. So I think that could be the possible best career advice, and also the best personality advice how to begin in your career to climb your career ladder. So thank you so much, Shreya, for getting on board with all of us and giving your wonderful insights, your experience, and your journey, how it has been started and how it is currently right now. So before we do end this podcast, we would love to hear about your long-term visions, like what you see yourself 5 years down the line.
I have always asked myself this question, but I have never got an answer to this.
Okay.
Because, so for me, I have always survived on plan B.
Okay.
Plan A has never worked for me. What I have learned in the last few years is to perform in the moment.
Okay.
As of now, I am performing well at Microsoft, and I'm really happy about the job I am doing. In fact, I look forward to starting my work early in the day because
Okay.
I am enjoying working there. So, in terms of my 5 year plans, I think that is the only thing I look forward to right now. That I am still enjoying the work I am doing. I am not tired by the work I have been doing, because I think after 5 years, I might have completed more than 10 years of experience.
Okay.
I want to have the same zeal to solving problems and the same zeal to learn. I still go back to my old methods of studies or old topics to refer to when I am facing a problem, or even when I am preparing for interviews. I want to have the same zeal even after 5 years. That is the only goal I have sorted in my mind. Otherwise, I think the only trick to survive in the private world is to always have a plan B and assume it by default that plan A should fail and might fail.
Absolutely. So wish you the best of luck for your future endeavors here and for your next interviews. We wish to see you a chief technological officer very, very soon in next five
Yeah.
years down the line. Uh, so you will remember, one day that you had a podcast with the name Chandan from, Growjunction, and he stood some points regarding you. So sometimes manifestations and your hard works. So I think we are good to go. And thank you so much, Shreya, for joining in and giving your wonderful insights to people. If the audience is liking this video and wants to follow Shreya, so they can either go to their LinkedIn profiles and search for Shreya Bareja, and you'll able to see, and you can contact her for further like queries to be resolved. And till
I
then,
will be
take care.
happy to do that. Yeah.
All right, Shreya. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. I enjoyed this.